Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. Which shoe is better? Whose shoe is better? LeBron's or Kevin Durant's, right? And of course they're both with Nike. We got the KD 16 versus the Nike Lebron 21. There is a little bit of a price difference. The KD 16 is 160 bucks. The LeBrons of course are freaking expensive. Coming in at 200 bucks. If you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I try to leave the link in the description box. But they are on sale right now. The KD 16 for Cyber Monday and Black Friday. Some colorways are going for like 120 bucks, which is pretty dope. And then the LeBron 21, some colorways are going for 150 bucks, which is a really good deal, $50 off. I feel like LeBrons usually don't get a lot cheaper than that. So again, links will be in the description box. But let's get started right off with the Tracciones. And so here in this colorway of the KD 16 that I have a fully translucent outsole, right? Which I think affected the performance a little bit, right? So definitely in the KD 16 you have to break it in, or from my experience, right? So when I first got it, for like the first day or two, it wasn't amazing. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing, right? But once I got going, it got really good on a clean court, right? And the LeBron 21, I didn't have to break it in really at all. It was amazing performance, pretty much right out of the box. Crazy squeak as well. The KD 16 for me didn't really squeak that much at first, but once I broke it in, it started to squeak a little bit more, but definitely not as squeaky as the LeBron 21, which of course that has nothing to do with performance, but I like to have squeak, you know what I mean? So yeah, you don't have to break in the LeBron 21. And also if you're playing on a clean court, the LeBron 21 has better stops, you know what I mean? It has better performance, has really good stops. You're pretty much stopping on a dime. The KD 16 also really good, but I would say it's not as good as the LeBron 21 on a clean court, right? But maybe that's because of the translucent outsole. I heard there are some colorways like with a fully solid rubber outsole, it is a little bit better, especially on performance on dust, right? So the KD 16 for me with the translucent, the dust performance wasn't great, you know? I was sliding around a little bit. It wasn't terrible. And if I did a slight wipe, I was good to go again, but it wasn't the best for dust performance, right? For the KD 16. And same thing in the LeBron 21. The LeBron 21, it was a little bit better. It's super easy to wipe off as well. As far as consistency goes, I would say the KD 16 is a little bit more consistent because the LeBron 21, like, it was still really good for performance on dust, but if I did let a little too much dust build up, I did slide out a little dangerously, which I didn't like. That only happened to me a couple of times, but it was a little inconsistent with the dust performance. But overall, I would say it bites through dust a little bit better than the KD 16. So there's that, you know, it's a little bit different there. And as far as the durability goes, I feel like they're both not great. You know what I mean? The gear pattern here on the KD 16, there are some parts where it's a little bit thinner, it's a little bit softer, and then LeBron 21 also. I mean, this is an expensive shoe as well, and kind of like this brain pattern, you know, the grooves are a little thin as well. Like, it's not super thin and it's not super soft, but it doesn't feel like it'll be the best, right? So as far as the overall performance goes, it depends, you know what I mean? I did like the LeBron 21 a little bit better because it bites a little bit harder, you know what I mean? So there is the traction there. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, they're both very smooth. Here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape, right? Same thing here in the KD 16. And they have a lot of compression here in the heel from the actual foam, which makes it very smooth in the heel. And then in the forefoot, we have a nice curved shape in both of the shoes, right? And the KD 16 is a little bit stiffer, you know what I mean? I'm putting a lot more force into bending the forefoot a little bit. The LeBron 21 is a little bit softer, right? And also it starts to bend a little bit at the midfoot as well. Even though there is a midfoot chain plate, it bends right over here. So I guess torsion support isn't as good in LeBron 21, but LeBron 21 does feel a little bit more flexible here in the forefoot compared to the KD 16. So one is not better than the other. Obviously, it's just preference. If you want a little bit more stiffer here, or like a stiffer feel for the sole, then the KD 16 is better. But for me, I like to have a little bit more flexibility in my shoes. So I like the LeBron 21 a little bit better for the heel to toe transition. I also like the overall feel of the sole, right? You know what I mean? So there's that. Moving on to the cushioning setup. The cushioning setup is kind of similar, but not, right? So here in the heel for the foam, the KD 16 has a good amount of compression, right? And same thing with the LeBron 21. The LeBron 21 is also very nice. There's a lot of compression as well. So for that, I'll tie it up. It feels very similar as far as the heel compression goes from the actual midsole. The actual like step in comfort, or I guess like underfoot cushioning, is a little bit different, but kind of similar. similar, you know what I mean? So here in the heel, for the KD16, if you remove the insole, you can see that they are using an Air Strobo unit, which feels very comfortable, very nice. I love the Air Strobo unit. And then here in the LeBron 21, we do have a zoom unit, but it's bottom loaded, right? So it's a little bit harder to feel for underfoot cushion. So I guess the KD16 is a little bit better for that, but we still have that zoom unit, right? And then here in the forefoot, we have a bottom loaded zoom unit in the KD16, and then the top loaded zoom unit, but it's a zoom turbo unit in the LeBron 21, right? So that feels a lot better here in the forefoot. And I prioritize forefoot cushion a little bit more. I like to have a little bit more some in the forefoot, you know, for the cushion. So I like the LeBron 21 setup a little bit more, right? As far as impact protection goes, they're both really, really good. You know, if you're doing heel strikes, you should be covered. If you're doing hard impacts in the heel, you're fine. And also in the forefoot, you should be fine, right? Court feel is also pretty similar, right? You have pretty good court feel. I would say like a little bit better than average, or maybe around average court feel for both of these shoes. So yeah, tied up there. Impact protection, like I said, tied up. Underfoot cushioning, it's just a little bit different, right? If you want heel, obviously the KD16 is a little bit better. And then for the forefoot, the LeBron 21 is a little bit better. So in my personal opinion, like I said, I like forefoot cushion. So LeBron 21 is the better cushioning setup. But like I said, the KD16 is still a really nice setup. So there is a cushioning setup there. Moving on to the upper. So the upper, the material is very, very different, but it feels actually pretty similar on foot. You know what I mean? So here in the KD16, we have this mesh material with like the synthetic material that goes all around the shoe, right? But overall, it feels pretty thin. Once you break it in, it's soft. It conforms to your foot very well. And same thing with the LeBron 21. The LeBron 21 uses this like leather material, but surprisingly, it's really, really thin and very, very soft. You know what I mean? So conforms to your foot extremely well, but also it's super duper supportive. And then we have this like 360-degree like zonal cabling system, which is underneath this leather material for the LeBron 21. And if you guys can see the cables here, right? So that does improve the support of the overall material as well. But like on foot, like here in the toe box, it feels really, really similar. And then here in the midfoot, it feels really similar as well. And then for the tongue, they're both pretty well padded. I love the LeBron 21 quality because of this like stitching pattern. It makes it feel very premium. The KD16 is just a regular like polyester material, right? And then here in the ankle area, they're both pretty well padded. I would say the LeBron 21 has a little bit more padding, and also with this kind of like memory foam material, it feels a little bit more comfortable. But again, it feels very, very similar, right? So as far as the material quality goes, I would say obviously I like the LeBron 21 better, but it is $40 more expensive, so that is to be expected. The KD16 with the mesh and also like the synthetic material, not the best for quality, right? But for performance, like on foot, they both feel pretty dang similar. So there's that. I mean, they're both thin, conform to your foot, and they're both supported, right? So that's really all I asked for from my uppers, from my materials. So there is that. Moving on to the fit. I did go up half a size for both of these shoes because Nike has been fitting a little short for me, right? So because of that, they both fit me very, very well, right? I feel like if I went true to size for both of these shoes, they would be very, very snug, and I wouldn't like it, even though I like to have a very snug fit, right? So here in the KD16, my toes go very close to the edge of the shoe. Same thing here in the LeBron 21, going up half a size, right? So lengthwise, I was good to go. And here in the toe box, it's also very, very snug, which I do like. And width-wise, they're both slightly narrow. So they're a very, very similar fit, which is weird because LeBron's used to be a little bit roomy, and the KDs have always been really snug and very, very narrow. You know, and like if you've seen KD's feet, they're super narrow. You know what I mean? He has that sub sandwich foot. You know what I mean, with the meme. But anyways, yeah, they both fit very, very well for me when I go up half a size, and it's a very similar fit for me for both of the shoes. So there's that. I would suggest most people go up half a size if you still want a pretty snug fit. So there's that. Moving on to the support and lockdown, also I have zero issues, right? And even if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine, right? So if you're doing a lot of lateral movements here in the KD16, you have the necessary lateral counters. You know, with this upper is very supportive as well. You have this wing, like this plastic wing in the midfoot, and an internal TPU heel counter. Same thing here in the LeBron 21. We have a lot of foam coming up here in the forefoot. We have an internal TPU heel counter. And also this embossed swoosh is a lot stiffer, right? This part is very, very stiff compared to the regular parts of the upper. So lateral containment, I was good to go in both of the shoes. And like I said, even if you're a heavier guy, you should be fine, right? And also lateral stability, you should be good to go. I mean, like I had no issues with it. They're both pretty much the exact same width here in the forefoot. So lateral stability was very good for me, and I didn't experience any type of heel slippage at all in either of these shoes, right? So support and lockdown was very, very good for me in both of the shoes. And now moving on to the weight. So they should be around the same weight, I believe, right? The LeBron 21 might be a little bit lighter though. 13.1 ounces. The KD16 is 13.15 ounces, so pretty much the exact same weight. And yeah, they both feel very, very similar as far as the weight goes, the weight distribution as well. It doesn't feel bottom heavy in either of the shoes, and they are both very, very responsive. I would say the LeBron 21 is a little bit more responsive because the traction is just a tiny bit better, but they're both very responsive shoes. You can feel very quick in both of them, but also they have very nice, comfortable cushioning setup. And even if you're a guard, you will love playing in both of them, right? So there's that. Moving on to the aesthetics, definitely the LeBron 21 looks better in my personal opinion. The colorways of the LeBron 21 that have been coming out are also really, really dope. The KD16 is definitely, it's alright, you know, it's definitely not one of my favorite designs in his entire shoe line. So yeah, tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. And obviously for ventilation, the KDs are going to be way better with this mesh. There's no ventilation through this leather material. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit cooler for the KDs. And now wrapping things up, right? So the KD16 is a very, very good shoe. Very, very solid performer. I just wish the traction was a little bit better. But like I said, I heard the traction with the solid rubber was a little bit better compared to the fully translucent, right? But anyways, the LeBron 21 is $40 more expensive, right? So if money is an issue and you want to save money, then the KD16 is definitely a better option, right? But if we're looking at overall performance and ignoring price, in my personal opinion, the LeBron 21 is a little bit better, right? The traction is a little bit better. The cushion, I do like better as well. And it's just as supportive. The fit is very similar as well. So, and I guess it's just like because of the cushioning setup, I do like the LeBron 21 better. And also the slightly better traction on a clean court, right? But like I said, you can't really go wrong with a KD16 either, right? And no matter what your position is, if you're a guard, I definitely feel like you'll enjoy both of these shoes. And even if you're a bigger dude as well, they're both very supportive, really nice cushioning setups too. So they're both really good all-around shoes as well. But anyways, in my personal opinion, I like the LeBron 21 a little bit better, right? So that about concludes this versus video between the LeBron 21 and the KD16. Hope this video helped you guys out. And if you guys do want to cop either of these shoes, I try to leave the link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.